Nostalgia. Nothing is better than reminiscing about a good old adventure game. Well, nothing's better than reminiscing about the best and most memorable moments about a good old adventure game. And that's what myself and the Adventure Game Hotspot Network is doing today in this video. It's a list video, guys. Let's go.
I feel like I could take on the world.
Adventure Game Memorable Moments. The Secret of Monkey Island brought us some incredible moments, but when I think back and remember The Secret of Monkey Island, the first thing that I think of is insult sword fighting. We hadn't seen anything like it in the adventure game genre prior, and we really hadn't seen anything like it since, despite Monkey Island series repeatedly attempting to. Going from scallywag to scallywag, hoping to learn a new insult until your tongue was sharp enough to go toe-to-toe with the Swordmaster. Oh, and who could forget about the often memed, "You fight like a dairy farmer."
How appropriate! You fight like a cow.
Full Throttle kicked its way into our hearts by adding the kick verb into its adventure game. There was all sorts of fun moments where you kicked down doors as Ben Throttle, but none of them was more entertaining and funny than kicking down the kickstand bar's door, followed by this quote.
I fixed your door. It was sticky.
Well, I've had many memorable moments in adventure gaming, so here's just one example from my Amiga days. Simon the Sorcerer. Why do things keep falling out of my boxes? I played this when I used to have an Amiga 500, which finally kicked the bucket last year, so now I have an A500 Mini. Anyway, I got really stuck one time and couldn't figure out what to do next. My friend, aka the Grand Inquisitor, already knew what to do and wanted to give me a hint while walking home from school. I really didn't want to cheat though and kept refusing to listen to him. Suddenly he went mental, grabbed my tie and pushed me up against a hedge. Well, under the circumstances, I decided to take the hint. And that's why I'm still alive today. The hint was you have to use the repulsor on something. What in the name of Simon's pointy hat is a repulsor, you ask? Well, true to the fairy tale, it's the name of a pig that Rapunzel turns into when you kiss her. So what could the pig be used for? Well, I'm not going to spoil the solution, so I'll keep it under my hat.
While I'm not the biggest opera fan, Gabriel Knight 2's opera scene is very memorable. Written and composed by Robert Holmes. He actually wrote a 20-minute opera just for the game. Now, there's not 20 minutes worth of opera in the game, but what is in there is incredible. What a level of patience and commitment to the craft this scene shows. Oh, Gabe, look at him. What a clown. Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge ending is infamous. It's either loved or hated, depending on who you're talking to. And there's no in between. LeChuck, or Chucky, is your brother? You're both children? The first two games were a figment of a child's imagination? Or was it? Heck if I know. All this time, I still don't know. Even after playing the last game, Return to Monkey Island.
My favorite adventure game moment is in this game, Conquest of the Longbow.
On day 9, you, Robin Hood, have to trick the Sheriff of Nottingham, luring him into the forest. Other adventure games in similar situations have only one solution. But in Longbow, you can choose between 2 different disguises, each with different outcomes. The game takes into account whether or not you won the archery tournament on the previous day, with unique actions and dialogue either way, and a potential death. My favorite thing about it? If you go to the front of the castle, leave, then change your beard color and come back, the guard actually remembers, and Robin meets an untimely end. There's even unique dialogue depending on which beard you show first. All of this branching stuff is just really unique for adventure games at the time. And you know, if you don't want to bother, you can just walk away from the whole thing. Robin's a bit dejected, but hey, more time for 9 Men's Morris, I guess.
Uncharted 4 is an adventure game. It's a modern adventure game, an adventure-adjacent game. If you're a fan of story, then you'd be a fan of Uncharted 4. And if you've played it, you'll remember this scene. If you haven't played it, bring your Kleenex. Oh, man.
No. No, you hold on. Hold on. Sam! Give me your other arm. Arm reach. No!
Leisure Suit Larry 1, The Land of Lounge Lizards, opening scene is iconic. Not because it introduces you to the game well, not because it introduces you to the character well. No, it's the jingle. It's the Al Low jingle that I still whistle to this day.
My most memorable moment from an adventure game would probably be from the 89 hit game Gold Rush from Sierra. The moment, that would be the choice. Which of the 3 paths would you take to get J-Rod from Brooklyn to California? You could take the sketchy but fast way around Cape Horn. You could take the I messed all the other choices up way, which is the stagecoach. You could go through Panama. Look, this isn't about details or facts or even accuracy. This is about a vague understanding of my favorite moment in adventure games. Let's not let the facts bog us down. This wasn't 3 different cutscenes or 3 different choices with a slight variation. This was 3 different choices with a giant chunk of the game. This was a level of complexity and detail that I wouldn't see again in an adventure game probably until like Fate of Atlantis several years later. Each different path offered different storylines, different characters to interact with, millions of different ways to die. It was a perk at the time. The YouTube video on all the ways to die in Gold Rush is 26 minutes long. So if you haven't played Gold Rush, maybe give it a shot. There's kind of 3 different games in there, and they're all arguably a lot of fun.
Space Quest 3. Wow, this was a fun game, and this was a super fun scene. Making the most of a bad situation, Roger Wilco and the 2 guys find themselves on Earth. And fortunately for them, or for us, depending on how we're looking at it, they find themselves right in front of Sierra Online's office. And Ken Williams comes out. He offers the 2 guys a job. But what about Roger? Hey Ken, are you looking for a janitor position? No. And in Spanish, no. Oh, Ken. Ah, yes. This is a dubious one. Heavy Rain had some incredible scenes. Heavy Rain had all sorts of memorable scenes, but none more memorable, none more memed than this one. Just to think, all of it, the whole story could have been avoided had Father of the Year over here just, kept an eye on his child. Jason?
Jason!
Jason!
Jason! Jason! Jason! Jason! Jason! Jason!
There you go. Thank you to the Adventure Game Hotspot Network, guys. We appreciate you. I'm going to leave the links in the description so that you can follow them on their YouTube channels. I am Joshua, and this is Adventure Game Hotspot's YouTube channel. Like it if you like it, subscribe if you like it also. And head on over to our website, adventuregamehotspot.com, for all the adventure game goodness. We'll see you guys in the next video. We love you in a weird way. Be good to everyone.